Antarctica, a land of silence, ice, and secrets buried for millions of years. Beneath the frozen surface, strange things move, and not all of them are natural. Scientists have found objects they can't explain, videos they refuse to comment on, and evidence that was never meant to be seen. Tonight, we'll count down 15 terrifying discoveries from the frozen ends of the Earth, from the least disturbing to the one that will haunt your mind long after the screen goes dark. Because at number 1, a tourist captured something in Antarctica that defies all explanation. Number 15. Deep in Antarctica's McMurdo Dry valleys, there's a glacier that bleeds. From its frozen white surface flows a river of bright red liquid, seeping slowly from deep within the ice. For years, explorers believed it was blood, leaking from something alive trapped below. When scientists finally tested it, they found iron-rich brine, ancient, oxygen-starved water that somehow remains liquid beneath the coldest temperatures on Earth. But that explanation raised an even darker question. How does liquid water, full of strange microorganisms, survive in a place where everything else freezes solid? Some researchers think blood falls connects to a hidden ecosystem sealed off for millions of years. Others believe it's proof that unknown biological processes, maybe even alien, could exist under the ice. Whatever the truth, the crimson flow continues, pulsing like an open wound in the heart of Antarctica. A reminder that even in the most lifeless place on Earth, something may still be alive. Number 14. On the remote Russian archipelago of Novaya Zemlya, explorers uncovered something impossible beneath the ice. Inside an ancient burial mound, they found several human-like bodies, perfectly preserved by the permafrost. At first, archaeologists believed they had stumbled upon Viking remains, frozen victims of the Arctic cold. But when the autopsies began, the mystery deepened. The skin was leathery, almost metallic. The organs showed precise incisions, clean cuts, as if made with surgical tools far more advanced than anything from that era. And the bones had traces of unknown alloys embedded in them. Radiocarbon tests gave conflicting results, some suggesting the bodies were over 1,000 years old, others barely a few decades. The Russian government sealed the site shortly after. Officially, the mummies were reburied for preservation. Unofficially, no one knows where they were taken. To this day, researchers whisper about what those bodies really were: humans, experiments, or something that never belonged in the Arctic to begin with. Number 13. 4 kilometers beneath the Antarctic ice lies a world untouched by time, Lake Vostok, a massive body of water sealed away for millions of years, completely cut off from sunlight and air. When Russian scientists drilled through the ice in 2012, they expected nothing but sterile water. Instead, what surfaced shocked them. The samples contained microscopic organisms, living cells that didn't match any known species on Earth. Some shared traits with ancient bacteria. Others had genetic sequences that didn't belong anywhere in the tree of life. NASA later joined the investigation, comparing Lake Vostok to the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, places where life might exist beneath frozen crusts. But just as quickly as the discovery made headlines, the data disappeared. Several samples were reported lost during transport, and when the team returned to the site, the drilling station was mysteriously shut down. Whatever lives beneath Lake Vostok remains trapped in darkness, a reminder that even under kilometers of ice, something is breathing, waiting to be found. Number 12. In the desolate expanse of Queen Maud Land, Antarctica, satellites captured something that shouldn't exist: a perfect 4-sided pyramid rising from the ice. The images, first spotted on Google Earth, spread like wildfire. Each side measured almost exactly the same length as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Coincidence? Maybe. But geologists were baffled. No known natural process could create such precise symmetry in solid rock. Then, the coordinates vanished. Within months, the high-resolution satellite data of that area was restricted. When explorers tried to reach the site, sudden blizzards forced them to turn back. Some believe it's the remnant of an ancient civilization, buried long before humans were supposed to exist. Others claim it's a modern base, hidden beneath the ice by governments that never admit it's there. But one photo remains online, a dark triangular shadow stretching across the snow. Whether it's stone, metal, or something else entirely, the Black Pyramid stands as one of Antarctica's most forbidden shapes. Number 11. Scattered across East Antarctica lie the frozen ruins of Soviet research bases, relics of the Cold War, buried beneath decades of ice and silence. When modern expeditions rediscovered some of them, they expected broken equipment and empty bunkers. Instead, they found something far stranger. Inside one of the stations, everything was still in place. Journals left open on tables, meals frozen mid-preparation, as if the scientists had vanished in an instant. Reports mention bodies, perfectly preserved, sitting upright in their chairs, their faces distorted in what looked like terror. No signs of struggle, no gunshots, just the eerie stillness of people frozen where they sat. Officially, the Soviet archives claimed the crews died from carbon monoxide poisoning, but autopsies later revealed a different story. The lungs were intact, but the inner ear bones were shattered, as if exposed to an intense vibration or sound wave. Whatever happened inside those stations remains a mystery the ice refuses to release, and today, the entrances are sealed, marked only by rusted signs that warn in faded Russian letters, "Do not enter." Number 10. In 2019, a team of geologists working near the Arctic Circle began recording an unexplainable sound, a deep, metallic whistle, repeating at perfect intervals beneath the ice. At first, they thought it was machinery, maybe sonar interference or seismic equipment. But there were no ships, no drills, no human activity for hundreds of miles. The sound seemed to move, traveling slowly under the frozen tundra, echoing through layers of permafrost like something alive. When they placed vibration sensors across the region, the readings formed a strange pattern, a spiral, centered miles below the surface. NASA's monitoring satellites picked it up next, calling it a consistent, mechanical resonance with no clear source. Then, suddenly, the sound stopped, mid-recording. When researchers returned days later, their instruments were frozen solid, their internal drives magnetically erased. No one knows what caused the frozen whistle, but locals still claim that, on quiet nights, if you stand on the ice long enough, you can feel it hum beneath your feet, as if something ancient is calling from below. Number 9. In the frozen wilderness of Greenland, a group of researchers set up cameras to study glacial movement. What they recorded instead has haunted them ever since. As the ice shifted under a pale morning light, something massive moved beneath it, a long, white shape twisting slowly under the surface. It wasn't a crack or a shadow. It was alive. The footage shows a segmented form gliding through translucent ice, almost translucent itself, like a worm the size of a bus. Experts reviewed the video, suggesting it might be an optical illusion, a trick of refraction. But the original files contain heat signatures, faint, linear trails of warmth following the moving shape. Within days, the footage was removed from public archives. Some say the team was pressured to stay silent. Others believe the entire event was fabricated. But a single frame remains, a blurred outline of something coiled and colossal, sleeping just beneath the ice sheet. Whatever it was, it's still down there, and Greenland's glaciers are melting fast. Number 8. High on a cliff face in western Antarctica, satellites captured what looked like a doorway carved into solid ice, rectangular, perfectly symmetrical. 5 meters tall, 2 meters wide, too precise to be natural. When the image first appeared on Google Earth, theories exploded online. Some said it was an entrance to a secret base. Others believed it led to ancient tunnels buried deep beneath the continent. Geologists called it a natural crevasse, but no nearby formations showed the same geometry. Straight angles, clean edges, and smooth walls. Weeks after the discovery went viral, the coordinates stopped working. In the updated satellite feed, the area appeared blurred as if erased. Expedition teams who attempted to reach the site reported sudden storms and GPS blackouts within a 10-kilometer radius. They turned back, leaving behind only faint radar images of what looked like an opening sealed from the inside. To this day, no one has stood before the ice door, and maybe that's for the best, because whatever built it might still be behind it. Number 7. In 1982, during a Soviet military training exercise in Siberia's Lake Baikal, a group of divers reported an encounter unlike anything ever documented. At a depth of nearly 50 meters, visibility was low, the water freezing, yet the men swore they saw movement. Then, through the murky light, shapes appeared. 7 humanoid figures, tall, slender, and completely covered in what looked like metallic suits that shimmered like liquid silver. No breathing gear, no visible equipment, just silent figures, watching them. When the soldiers tried to capture one using a net, a sudden burst of force threw them upward, almost like an explosion underwater. 3 divers died instantly. 4 were severely injured. The surviving men described the same thing, a pressure wave that didn't come from the surface, but from the beings themselves. The Soviet report was immediately classified. Officially, it was a diving accident. Unofficially, it became one of the most disturbing encounters ever recorded beneath the ice. And Lake Baikal still holds its secrets, its depths deeper than any human has ever fully explored. And perhaps not meant to be. Number 6. In 1947, the United States launched one of the largest Antarctic expeditions in history, Operation Highjump. Officially, it was a scientific mission. Unofficially, it was led by Admiral Richard Byrd and backed by the U.S. Navy with more than 4,000 men, aircraft, and warships. The mission was supposed to last 8 months. It ended abruptly after just 8 weeks. When the survivors returned, their reports were inconsistent. Missing logs, unexplained casualties, and aircraft that vanished mid-flight. Byrd himself later claimed they had encountered flying craft that could move from pole to pole at incredible speed. Soon after, all information about the mission was classified. Rumors spread that the expedition discovered something hidden beneath the ice, a power source, a lost civilization, or something not of this earth. Admiral Byrd died without ever revealing what he truly saw, but his final radio transmission, recovered years later, contained a single chilling line. "We are not alone in this place."
We are not alone in this place.
Number 5. In early 2023, satellites orbiting over Antarctica detected something strange. A perfect circle of melting ice, expanding in the middle of nowhere. The region had no volcanic activity, no signs of geothermal vents, and temperatures far too low for natural thawing. Yet the satellite images showed it widening each week, as if something beneath the surface was heating up. When scientists tried to analyze the data, the thermal readings didn't match any known geological pattern. It wasn't just heat, it was pulsing, rhythmic, almost electrical. A NASA engineer later described it as the heartbeat of the ice. Soon after, that same section of the satellite map was blurred out. No research teams were ever sent. No official statement was made. But to this day, the melt zone continues to grow, invisible to the public eye, yet large enough to be seen from orbit. And if the ice is melting from below, what exactly is waking up down there? Number 4. In 2016, a group of fishermen off the northern coast of Canada made a chilling discovery drifting in the fog. A massive block of ice, perfectly clear, with something inside. As their boat drew closer, they realized it wasn't debris or a frozen animal. It was a shape, humanoid, pale, and almost featureless, suspended in the center like a body trapped mid-motion. They recorded a short video before towing the block toward shore, but within hours, it began to melt, faster than natural ice should. By the time authorities arrived, only fragments remained, and the body inside was gone. When the footage hit the internet, it went viral, then disappeared days later, removed from every platform without explanation. Government agencies denied any involvement, but locals claimed the ice didn't melt at all. It was taken. Whatever was frozen inside that crystal block had been perfectly preserved for centuries, and for a brief moment, the Arctic had revealed its secret before swallowing it again. Number 3. Few people know that parts of Antarctica are completely off limits, not just to visitors, but even to pilots. On official flight maps, several regions are marked as restricted airspace. No commercial or military aircraft are allowed to pass above them. When asked why, authorities cite safety and navigation concerns. But those who have accidentally crossed those coordinates tell a different story. Pilots have reported sudden instrument failure, compasses spinning out of control, and strong magnetic interference, as if something below the surface were emitting a powerful signal. In one case, a research helicopter lost radio contact for 9 minutes. When it re-established communication, the crew said they had seen a vast circular opening in the ice, large enough to fit an entire city inside. Their report was confiscated, the flight logs were sealed, and soon after, the coordinates disappeared from public navigation databases. Whatever lies beneath those no-fly zones remains hidden, protected by rules that no one dares to question, and a silence colder than the ice itself. Number 2. During a deep ice mapping mission, NASA's radar instruments detected something unexpected beneath the Ross Ice Shelf: a metallic echo. At first, scientists thought it was just interference, maybe a geological anomaly. But the reflection was too structured. It repeated at exact intervals, as if bouncing off walls. When the team increased the sonar resolution, the readings revealed a vast, hollow space nearly 2 kilometers below the surface, perfectly symmetrical, with sharp, angular boundaries. The data was reviewed, then locked behind restricted access. A leaked internal memo described it as a large, resonant cavity, possibly of artificial origin. Not long after, a second expedition was quietly canceled. The official reason: equipment malfunction. Unofficially, one researcher claimed they heard the echo pulse. Not random noise, but a pattern, almost like a signal. If that's true, then somewhere under the Antarctic ice, something is still sending a message, and someone, somewhere, is listening. We've seen signals from beneath the ice, forbidden airspace, and discoveries that vanish before anyone can explain them. But among all these mysteries, one stands above the rest, a single image that terrified even the scientists who analyzed it. It's not a theory, it's not a rumor, it's a photograph, taken by chance, in the most isolated place on Earth. And once you see it, you'll never look at Antarctica the same way again. Number 1. It's one of the strangest photographs ever taken in Antarctica. A tourist claims to have captured this image while exploring the frozen coastline. A dark winged figure crouched on the ice, surrounded by nothing but endless white. At first glance, it looks like a sculpture, but the scale, the shadows, and the reflection on the snow suggest it's really there, massive, silent, and unmistakably humanoid. The photo began circulating online, quickly labeled as the Ice Guardian. Skeptics say it's just a rock formation or a trick of perspective. Others insist it shows something ancient, frozen in time, waiting beneath the surface. No one has ever confirmed where or when it was truly taken. But even with just one photo, the image alone is enough to stir an uncomfortable thought. If that shape isn't a statue, then what was standing out there, in the coldest place on Earth?